Hey kids, it's Miss Jerica, and this week we're going to learn about Sodom and Gomorrah. In your bags this week, you have your Sodom and Gomorrah coloring sheet, your template for your craft instructions, and your lesson. This week, our key passage is Genesis 18:17 through 33 and Genesis 19:1 through 29. Read Genesis chapter 18:17 through 33 with your kids. Now that you've read chapter 18:17 through 33, we're going to read chapter 19:1 through 29 together. The two angels came to Sodom in the evening. Lot was sitting near the city gate and saw them. He got up and went to them and bowed face down on the ground. Lot said, "Sirs, please come to my house and spend the night. There you can wash your feet. Then tomorrow you may continue your journey." The angels answered, "No, we will spend the night in the city's public square." But Lot begged them to come to his house. So they agreed and went to his house. Then Lot prepared a meal for them. He baked bread without yeast, and they ate it. Before bedtime, all of the men of the city surrounded Lot's house. These men were both young and old and come from every part of Sodom. They called to Lot, "Where are the two men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us. We want to force them to have physical relations with us." Lot went outside to them, closing the door behind him. He said, "No, my brothers, do not do this evil thing. Look, I have 2 daughters. I will give them to you, but please don't do anything to these men. They have come to my house, and I must protect them." The men around the house answered, "Move out of the way." Then they said to each other, "This man Lot came to our city as a stranger. Now he wants to tell us what to do." They said to Lot, "We will do worse things to you than to them." So they started pushing Lot back. They were ready to break down the door. But the 2 men staying with Lot opened the door and pulled him back inside the house. Then they closed the door. The 2 men struck the men outside of the house with blindness. So these men, both young and old, could not find the door. The 2 men said to Lot, "Do you have any other relatives in this city? Do you have any son-in-laws, daughters, or any relatives? If you do, tell them to leave now. We are about to destroy the city. The Lord has heard of all the evil that is here, so he has sent us to destroy it." So Lot went out and spoke to his future son-in-laws. They were pledged to marry his daughters. Lot said, "Hurry and leave the city. The Lord is about to destroy it." At dawn the next morning, the angels begged Lot to hurry. They said, "Go, take your wife and your 2 daughters with you. Then you will not be destroyed when the city is punished." But Lot delayed, so the 2 men took the hands of Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters. The men led them safely out of the city, so the Lord was merciful to Lot and his family. The 2 men brought Lot and his family out of the city. Then one of them said, "Run for your lives. Don't look back or stop anywhere in the valley. Run to the mountains or you will be destroyed." But Lot said to one of them, "Sir, please don't force me to go so far. You have been merciful and kind to me. You have saved my life, but I can't run to the mountains. The disaster will catch me, and I will die. Look, that little town over there is not too far away. Let me run there. It's really just a little town. I'll be safe there." The angel said to Lot, "Very well. I will allow you to do this also. I will not destroy that town. But run there fast. I cannot destroy Sodom until you are safely in that town." The sun had come up already when Lot entered Zoar. The Lord sent a rain of burning sulfur down from the sky on Sodom and Gomorrah. The Lord destroyed those cities. He also destroyed the whole Jordan Valley, everyone living in the cities, and even all the plants. At this point, Lot's wife looked back. When she did, she became a pillar of salt. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and went to the place where he had stood before the Lord. Abraham looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah and all the Jordan Valley He saw smoke rising from the land. It was like smoke from a furnace. God destroyed the cities in the valley, but he remembered what Abraham had asked. So God saved Lot's life, but he destroyed the city where Lot had lived. Now that we've read our key passage, let's look at our memory verses. Our first memory verse is Genesis chapter 19, verse 26. At this point, Lot's wife looked back. When she did, she became a pillar of salt. Our next memory verse is Genesis 19:16. So the two men took the hands of Lot and his wife and his two daughters. Then the men led them safely out of the city. So the Lord was merciful to Lot and his family. Important questions. Why did Lot's wife turn into a pillar of salt? God's angels had told Lot and his family that if they look back at the city, they will be destroyed. The reason God told his angels to say this is because if anyone looks back at it, it means that they still wanted to live in the sin that the city had to offer instead of wanting to live for God. This is why when Lot's wife looked back at the city, she turned into a pillar of salt, because her heart wanted sin instead of wanting God. Our lesson summary is obey our merciful God. If we obey God, he will have mercy on us. This is why when we sin, God allows us to have consequences for our sin. But if we obey God faithfully, we won't have consequences because God will show his mercy. Lot's wife didn't obey God, and her consequence was turning into a pillar of salt. However, Lot and his daughters obeyed God and had no consequences because God showed them mercy for obeying him. Always obey God. Next is our invitation. What would be better than to lead your own kids to Christ? Ask your kids if they want to accept Jesus as their Savior or get saved. Please don't hesitate to call me, Pastor Jeff, or Miss Paula if you have questions. We can walk you through it if you want us to. Your child's soul is important. Jesus came to die and rise again to give you and your children a way to spend eternity in heaven instead of hell. All you have to do is accept. It's as simple as ABC. Now that we're done with our lesson, let's get to our craft. The materials you need that we provided for this craft are the picture of Lot's wife, popsicle sticks, and salt. You are providing scissors, glue, and crayons. First, you're going to take this cutout and you're going to color Lot's wife. Once you have finished coloring Lot's wife, you're going to cut her and the salted wife out. Once you have cut out Lot's wife and the salted wife, you are going to cover the salted wife with glue, and then you're going to sprinkle salt on her. Once you have covered the salted wife with salt, you're going to let her dry. After she's dried, you're going to glue both sides together with a popsicle stick in the middle. You do this by putting glue on Lot's wife, After you put glue on Lot's wife, you are going to put the popsicle stick in the middle of the glue. Once you put the popsicle stick in the middle of the glue, you are going to take your salted wife and put that on top of the back side of Lot's wife, and then you're going to press down. It should look like this. So now you have Lot's wife before she turned around and after she turned around. After that, you are done with your lesson. Thank you for watching. Have a good week.